And as always, let's talk about your author of the story. So this week we're reading Edwidge Danticat. She is a French Haitian-born author. That's the correct pronunciation of her name. And we're reading her story, A Wall of Fire Rising. So this story, we're looking at symbol. And in order to really talk about symbol, let's talk about the context of the story, because context is so important in every story that we read. So in this story, it deals with what's referred to as the Haitian Revolution or the Haitian Slave Revolt. So in the 1800s, while slavery was an institution in Haiti, there was a very notable uprising of enslaved people claiming their own freedom from their oppressors. And this went on over many years. But one of the most notable figures of this uprising, or one of the most notable events of this uprising, was a series of fires. So the enslaved people in Haiti set a number of fires to plantations, to infrastructure that belonged to their oppressors, that, they basically just burned the thing down. And this is, of course, held up as this sort of almost phoenix moment of them claiming their own freedom in a very empowering way and really sort of taking back what's theirs. And that's, and of course, something to be honored and celebrated. And I'll share some resources about the Haitian Slave Revolution in more detail for those of you who are interested. It's a very cool part of history. Now, after the Haitian Slave Revolution, you did have all of these people who were now free, but to quote Dr. King, freedom is not given voluntarily by an oppressor. So while these people were free, they still had a lot of strife in their life. There was a lot of poverty, to the point of destitution. There was a lot of struggle to find work, to find jobs, to feed your family. People lived in very impoverished conditions, and that affected them. And so it was kind of, they left slavery and found their freedom, which of course is something to celebrate, but then found themselves in this situation where there was still not, they still weren't fully free in a lot of ways. And that's what this story is dealing with. Another thing that you want to be looking for in this story has to do with symbolism. So you want to think about the question of freedom in terms of symbolism. You also want to think about how all of these things might have value or meaning beyond what they are to the characters in this story. So one example is the title, which is also a feature within the story that you'll read about. The title is A Wall of Fire Rising, and that comes from these fires that the Haitian slave revolution is known for. And the line specifically comes from a poem, which was written by Boukman. You'll read about that in the story. And these things are very significant in a cultural sense to the characters in this story, but they also have symbolic meaning beyond just, their importance. So you want to be thinking about that. You also want to be thinking about the events of the story, what happens to the family, what they care about, what is important to them, and the ultimate end of the story in particular in terms of what sort of symbolism and message that Danticat is conveying in this story about her homeland. I look forward to talking about this story with you and getting into some more advanced and dynamic forms of literary analysis. If you have any questions as we go forward, don't hesitate to let me know.